Hello, this is John Miller, the creator of The Rest of Everest. I think I can safely say that this show is, without a doubt, the most in-depth look into the entire experience of what it takes to climb Everest, as well as some other peaks throughout the Himalayas. But all of the events in this series are shown in chronological order, so if you're new to the show, please go all the way back to episode 000 and watch everything in order. That's truly the best way to enjoy it. Thanks. There are now a bunch of new ways to watch The Rest of Everest. In addition to the podcast feed you're most likely watching now, there's some new and completely free ways to watch the show, which I'm really excited about, and I think you'll be excited about them too. The first is The Rest of Everest HD. It's, well, pretty much just what the name implies, an HD version of the show. From season 2 onwards, everything was filmed and edited in HD. Now you can actually watch it all in 720p HD. I've also created 2 new 3D podcasts to showcase material that I filmed from season 5 with my experimental 3D camera rig. There's The Rest of Everest 3D Anaglyph, which anyone can watch with those familiar red and blue 3D glasses, and there's The Rest of Everest 3D Side by Side, which you can enjoy on special 3D televisions and other 3D devices. Both of the 3D podcasts are released in high quality HD, but they are not full episodes. Instead, think of them as simply augmenting the regular podcast feed and containing only the footage from each episode that was actually filmed in 3D. Finally, I've created the Rest of Everest channel on YouTube that contains every video podcast of the show. I'm releasing current episodes in full 1080p HD and will slowly update all the episodes filmed in HD to 1080p HD. Episodes from the 3D podcast are also being posted to my YouTube channel, and you can watch them there in full 1080p 3D in a wide variety of formats. All of my podcast feeds can be found in iTunes, just search for The Rest of Everest, and my YouTube channel can be found at youtube.com/restofeverest. Of course, you can also find everything on my website at therestofeverest.com. If you have a question about any of the new feeds, like how do I watch them on my TV in 3D, then just shoot me an email. I'm happy to help. Well, that's the big news. Now on to this week's episode.
This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 159, the Maitreya Buddha.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to The Rest of Everest. I'm John Miller. This week, we are going to get to see the famous Maitreya Buddha, which is a statue that you will hear me go on and on and on and on and on and on about in this episode, so I apologize in advance for my enthusiasm, but I was very excited to be able to film it, and got a bunch of people who were there with me back in 2010. I'm going to go down the list here real quick. We've got Christine, Nicole, Jill, Tilo, Shaquille, David, Roger, and Chris and Monica. How are all of you doing today?
Hello.
Hi.
We were just joking on the line here before I started recording. We have a good deal of the world covered here from locations being called in from. And for Nicole, it is just past 5 in the morning, her time. So we were saying that shows commitment. But then we went over to Roger, and for Roger, it's just past 3 in the morning, his time. So I commend you for your commitment, you two.
No worries.
So hopefully these episodes will wake you up, and so let's head up to the town of Shigatse on the Tibetan plateau and start this week's episode. So here we go.
Shaquille,
Yes, Chris?
tell me a bit about your photo adventure this morning. What did you do?
This morning at dawn, I walked all the way down, I apologize, I don't remember the name of the street, to the end, to the fort, which was glowing in sunlight, and it was just a beautiful experience. But even better was meeting the people that were waking up, opening the shops, cooking breakfast, people having breakfast, people washing their face in the street, the school children with the bikes going to school.
What's the secret? I mean, it seems you just easily approach strangers and get their permission, even though you don't speak the language, you just get their permission to shoot pictures of them. How do you do it? What's the secret?
It's pretty basic. You smile, and I know one word, which is Tashi,
which means
which is hello in Tibetan. And I ask permission, I point at my camera, I use hand gestures, or I just pick up my camera and I can tell by their gestures if they would like a picture. If not, I still have a small conversation and then move on. And this morning I had at one point 40 people surrounding me. It was amazing.
Like they were...
I took a picture of 2 or 3 folks, and then the rest wanted to see the pictures, and I showed them the pictures and they saw the quality. They said, take my picture too, and then I was just taking pictures.
So you turned into a people photographer in... what's the name of this town?
This is Shigatse.
Shigatse,
yeah.
In the middle of Tibet.
Yes.
And you don't even speak the language.
And I don't speak the language now.
This is awesome.
But yeah, it was great. Loved every minute of it.
Did you get the shots did you get the shots you liked also, well, from a technical point of view?
Yeah, I, have learned a lot, on this trip, and then just using different techniques and even just experimenting, I was able to figure out what is the best settings for the camera. So I'll have to see them closer when I get back in Lightroom, but some of them look very promising.
John Miller looked again.
Shaquille, that monocle look was really good for you. I don't know if you guys noticed that lens flare. Looked like a monocle.
Yeah, this one's brand new. I have my old one with me, just as a backup, but I probably won't need to use it. So this one has a little tassel. It's orange. Whenever I try to buy clothing now, from here on out, I try to buy a bright color. Because the landscape, aside from the flowers and everything, the landscape just drab, It's like we're on
we all know what
planet
the clothes
without
stores
any
do
water.
are done.
Yes.
And so, like my jacket last year, red, pops. And it looks really good on video. And not only do I have my hat on, but I have a big bag of food from the buffet, because I don't have time to eat.
You'll eat on the road.
They didn't have any plastic plates or anything. I'm like, do you have anything? And they're like, we have some cellophane. I was like, okay, show me. And they showed me, and I was like, perfect, let's wrap it up. It was wrapped in cellophane, and they put it in a plastic bag for me. So I'm good to go.
I like your jacket.
Found out that I spoke with Damien this morning, just a few minutes ago. He feels great, but the doctors are saying that they want to hold him for another day because he still has some fluid. And I said, hey man, it's your trip, it's your body, it's your decision. Do what you want to do. I'm not a doctor, but do what you want to do. If you want to come join us, with knowing the risks involved, then come join us. If you want to stay there another day, stay there another day. But you're the one who's there, so he's going to look at the films, the x-rays from the first day, second day, and today, and he's going to make a decision based on how they look. He's going to have to explain to him what everything looks. But guess who's taking care of him right now?
Who?
Lobsong's brother.
No.
Does he work there? No, he's just another guide. He's another guide. So.
Wow.
I didn't even know Lobsong had a brother.
Yeah, he's got 3 brothers. He has a sister as well, yes. So this is now outside of the Tashilhunpo Monastery.
That's a satellite phone, right?
Yeah, she was on the satellite phone. I think I'm on cell phone. I think I'm trying to talk with Damien again.
That's camera work, huh?
Yeah, super cool.
Well, I mean, it's.
But what I found cool is when was John talking about his clothes, that he's really a video guy, choosing the clothes according to what looks good on the video.
Okay. What I've been told is that when you leave the hospital, you're going to be fully acclimatized. Okay? The doctors will always tell you it's a bad idea to go higher. But in practice, you should be fine. And that you might be the strongest person in the group. after that. Understand that I'm not a medical professional in any way, shape, or form.
Disclaimer.
I'm getting that from another person who's not a medical professional in any way, shape, or form. He's the owner of the travel agency that we use. But he says this happens frequently. Okay.
Blah 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 blah. Monica's talking.
Yeah. Apparently, once you're hospitalized for altitude sickness and you get discharged, typically people do very, very well.
Okay, we are now at the Tashilhunpo Monastery, but to go in, we just got our tickets. They're right here. And this is a place I've been looking forward to coming back to since 2007. Spoke about it last night in my room. It's now morning, obviously. And we're looking forward to going in there.
Do you mean we have to see another monastery?
Yeah, this is different than what we've seen before.
Just kidding.
This is like a city.
Yeah,
It's like a city.
the bit I can see through the gate.
Yeah. It's rigorously controlled, but in terms of how many monks there can be now these days. But it's something special, and again, we're looking forward to seeing the Lord's Maitreya Buddha. But here we go.
Butter.
Wheel of the Jewel, prayer butter.
That is pretty cool. That warrants a picture.
A lot of the monasteries have these huge tankas. We've seen.
That's Tanka?
Well, it's not there now.
My teacher voice.
But what they do is see the row of windows that look open. They will drape either out those windows, I'm not sure how, or from the top, a tanka that covers the whole front of that building.
Tanka like a cloth thing?
Yes.
Religious painting. Yeah.
Yeah. So anytime you see something like that, you know that they have a very auspicious tanka that they may only unfurl once a year.
Oh, and that covers the whole thing?
Uh-huh. And then the trail that you see is the trail that people walk around so that when the tanka is viewed, they can actually walk in front of it to view it.
I thought it was a big outdoor movie screen.
It's not a bad analogy, because the artifact, the tanka, the religious painting, is telling a whole story. It's like a movie.
The Shigatse IMAX.
Can't get to the mountain. Well, you go inside the fortress. You have to be outside this complex.
Can you get to that trail over there?
Lapsang said no.
Oh.
Because there's this wall.
Well, that trail should. I remember going up that trail last time I was here, but things have changed. Things have changed.
You probably, there's probably some way to get right into
If I refer to Wikipedia here, there's about 4,000 monks. And, here are some of them. Debating. Chris shot this, and I'm really glad you did.
Okay, so this year I'm very excited to say that in this building behind me over here, you see the stairs going up. That is the building that you might remember from the 2007 season 2 of the show, where there's the Maitreya Buddha statue, the future Buddha. Last time I was here I couldn't film it. So we've arranged to allow basically anyone who wants to film it, to film it. I'm very excited because I've wanted to show all of you this for years now, for 3 years. So I'm going to see if I can get everyone rounded up here. I'm not quite sure everyone is right now.
I can put my teacher voice back on, my teacher hat for a minute. If you notice the stairway up to the Maitreya temple, you'll see that the center section of that stairway is roped off, and that is because that center section is only to be used by the Dalai Lama and the Panchen Lama.
And shoot it with scale.
So there are traffic people
But
there's no strict up or down,
and this time we need something
except for that one
if Chris isn't going to be the
center
one doing photography, he's going to be the one
ladder,
guiding
stairway.
and giving people an idea of what to do to properly document the scale. He's very good at that. So, and then I'll be shooting it in 3 dimensions. So, I'm very excited about that. So, see if I can find the rest of the group here, and then we'll head back there, and we will take all kinds of photos to really document it, because it really is something special. I see Stefan over here. Let's see if he knows what the rest of the group is. What you see behind me is the building that the Maitreya Buddha is in, and it's very, very tall. My goal is to get some real scale in all of these images. So let's turn around and let's walk inside, and we're going to walk inside and go through the big fabric gate here. Let's see.
Are these the slippery stairs?
Mm-hmm. And there's the center section that Christine was talking about.
The stairs of death.
The butter stairs.
To quote Michael Palin, Buddhism is a very deep religion.
Oh. Here's the big flap. Move it aside. There's Tilo. Hi. Think you're going to be able to capture the scale?
It's difficult to capture the scale. I try to get some people in it to get a size indication.
Yeah, people in the foreground?
Yeah, people in the foreground.
Do you think it's big?
It's really big.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to kneel down. And what do you think? Should we tilt up and actually see the statue? Nah.
Don't do it, John.
I think it's a pretty good shot right here.
I'm out of here.
Come on.
Okay, here we go.
What a tease.
Sense is killing us.
Photos of the past and present Panchen Lamas there in the middle.
But that still doesn't really show the scale.
No.
You have to move around to see the scale.
No, you have to be there, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
There's Dave.
I was thinking really hard. Photographically, it's really difficult, but if you have video and if you move around, it should become more apparent how big this thing is.
And I do have to admit the 3D video of this episode is quite striking.
It's one of
I know Roger will be the first one to be watching it.
Go ahead.
Just to, again, quote Wikipedia here, the statue's 86 feet in height, about 26 meters. And it's composed of 279 kilos of gold, that's 614 pounds, and 150,000 kilos of copper, 330,000 pounds. So it's big.
Yeah. What about from the sides?
Aside from the Jokong, this was one of the highlights of the trip for me. Because what our viewing audience might not know is that I am a practicing Buddhist. The whole group knew before we got there, but the reason why I know so much about this is I've spent the greater part of my adult life studying Buddhism and specifically Tibetan Buddhism. So for me, the trip was part pilgrimage.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the shrines that I did leave offerings in.
That gives it some scale.
I'm not with a lot of obscure knowledge, although I could be accused of being that too.
I was saying that
He's sitting on a lotus. This is a lotus, not a toe.
that sometimes the lotus petals that we've shown in the past
Yeah.
have been 3 to 6 inches tall.
Oh, right.
And some of the other large statues.
Yeah.
And that for scale, here's one petal right here, and this is how large it is. This is just one of the petals, one of the many petals, and it's so large. So there's some scale. There's an adult right there. They're just enormous, absolutely enormous.
There's a whole lot on this trip that just made me feel really tiny.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good way to get some real perspective on life.
I'm going to go back around the side here. I see the shoulder. All I see, that's what that is right in the middle of the screen. You can see a little bit of ear up there. Let me put my hand up here if I can. There's my hand. That's about 3 feet in front of the camera. So it looks really large. The ear is probably about maybe 70 feet away, 80 feet away. It's just enormous. Okay, so I'm going to walk behind. We're going to get to see a little bit of the back here. All this base is metal, all hand pounded. You can see it shining dimly in the light coming from the windows. It's pretty amazing.
The temple and statue date back to about 1914.
It really is an enormous place, and it's all looks like it's all copper or brass.
The monastery itself is
brass.
15th century.
The Maitreya Buddha, which is what this statue represents, is the Buddha of the future. This represents the Buddha that will come. There is not just one Buddha. There has been,
Back here from
according to the whole philosophy, there has been many Buddhas in the past, and this represents the one that will come in the future.
Now we look up here, and we see the Buddha, Maitreya Buddha's back. Always dressed in real clothing. It's absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to be filming in here right now.
Yeah, can you tell?
And there's windows up there so that the natural light can spill out onto the Buddha's face.
Yeah, we mentioned those windows in last week's episode, but there you can actually see what they look like.
Again. I know it's hard to see. Here's one right here. Here's my hand again for scale. So large this is. It's very, very large. Come around to the front again. Again, you can see just how large these petals are. Absolutely enormous. Again, I'm going to put my hand on one. And it goes, so there's my hand, and this petal goes all the way up there. Absolutely enormous. I'm going to back up, you'll see the face again.
Yeah, we keep talking about how hard it is to capture scale there because everything's so far away.
It's absolutely amazing how large this Buddha is. And this is the Buddha that Heidi had a vision of. Had a vision of this Buddha surrounded by draperies, a lot of red. And if you look carefully, you'll see the pillars are red. There's a lot of red fabric everywhere. Walls are red, covered in Buddhas. Everything's red. It's all very, very amazing. Hey Shaquille,
Yes.
If you climbed up there, we'd get a much better idea of scale.
On here?
Up there. I'm just saying.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Or Dave, you too.
It'd be nice to take a nap in the
Much
Buddha's
better
lap.
idea of scale if you climbed up and
Probably the size of that.
right in the hand. Went right into the hand.
Sit in the hand.
Yeah,
I'll do
we'd
it.
get a much better idea of scale.
I'll do it.
Yeah, might get into a lot of trouble. I'm just saying.
Not sure I want to go to jail though.
I'm just saying.
Base jump off it. Where's Aaron?
I'm just curious, was anyone able to
see that
capture
again.
the whole statue with their camera and lens?
Yeah,
Because
I don't
my
quite know.
camera and lens certainly was
don't quite know
not
what
good
to
enough.
do. It's so large, I don't quite know what to do.
It's not about your equipment, Nicole.
Oh.
I think part of the problem is that there's not a lot of space surrounding the statue itself in that temple. There's, if I remember correctly, there's maybe 10 feet between the wall and where the base of that statue it rests. See, it's not like you can step back to get a better view of it. You're really looking up from the feet of the statue. And at that steep an angle, it's impossible, I think, to be able to get the complete picture.
Sure. Go for it. Go for it. Hey, do you still have the visa?
We need that.
Yeah, so you still got it?
Yeah, we have.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Teal got a pretty cool picture.
Oh, here he comes
from
again.
its head all the way down to the floor there.
But the problem is if someone...
Teal, I love how you walk in front of the camera here.
Walk up in front of the petals of the
You'll see him
lotus
again,
flower.
ladies and gentlemen.
That's a good indication.
Yeah, maybe. But it's still a problem, especially in size comparison to the Buddha itself, because the Buddha itself is so far away that it may has the same size like I am, but I'm close to the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really do want to say that if you haven't checked out the 3D podcast, this is a good episode to watch, just because you really can get a better sense of depth and distances by seeing it in 3D. And you can find links to it on my website.
Yeah, those little pieces of cloth in the Buddha's hand are like massive drapes.
Lobsang, tell me what happened there. What happened? We got a visit. We got a visit by the police.
Yeah, they had to pay like 200 yuan per car.
Was that an official payment or?
I'm not sure.
Was it a bit of a bribe?
I don't know exactly.
I'm gonna answer that.
So
yeah, he's like,
why
no
were they
comment.
fined? What happened?
Because they have parked in the wrong direction. I mean, the place where we are not supposed to park.
Okay, so they parked on the wrong side of the street.
Yeah.
Basically. So we lost our drivers for like how long?
About an hour, I'd say.
The drivers were gone for about an hour, and they're back, safe and healthy, not impounded. Just had to pay 200 yuan each
Per person. Yeah.
per person, the 400 yuan in total.
Yeah.
Okay. And why couldn't they pay it right to the police? Why do they have to go to the police station?
This is what they have demanded. I don't know exactly. Because
Okay.
they have begged them that they would pay here, but then they were asked to come to the police station. I don't know why.
Because the superiors have to get a cut. I've done it in India, so I can tell you. Yeah, the superiors have to get a cut. But I will say that parking in front of a bank in any country, especially 4 Land Rovers with drivers sitting waiting, is a bad idea.
Kind of.
Yeah, and everybody with their faces covered with masks.
Their
There's
attention.
our sunglasses.
And people with like, wait. And people with masks.
Yeah. We're all dressed like this.
and sunglasses, everything. Oh, bad idea. Okay, so we're all ready to
move here.
If
they come.
If everyone's back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if they actually return.
I'm just pretty sure we'll never be allowed back into Tibet from this point on.
I think this is that video right there is one of the neatest things about the podcast, because it's those little moments that you totally forget about, and then you're able to watch them months and in this case years later. So very cool. Well, next week we actually make we pass a big landmark on
getting closer.
The trip towards Everest, and we actually enter the Chumlongma Nature Preserve. So that was a really cool experience, and we'll get to see it in detail next week. So thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate you joining me.
Sure.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. All right, and we will see you next week. Nicole, get ready for work, and Roger, go to sleep. All right, bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every day, and watching the show has become a part of many people's weekly routine. The show will always be free to download, but it's by no means free to produce. Please help me cover my costs by making a small monthly or one-time donation from the right sidebar on my website, and in return I'll give you some cool bonus materials. A donation of any amount will grant you access to some interesting video content, including high-definition versions of several podcast episodes. A one-time donation of $25 or more, or any of the monthly donation options, will additionally grant you access to a downloadable version of the film Everest the Other Side, which episodes 1 to 61 are based on. I really cannot express how vital these donations are, and if you've made a donation, thank you so much. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywu.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.